Stop. Oh yeah.
Marked on your map to your first car.
I remember this. Break the drift is still a thing. You can already notice the changes in the interface. Small, but they're there. It's been a while since I've played this because I have it barely in memory, if I'm honest. That's also not the typical car choice. Gotta say, I don't like the spoiler of the GT4S. Not my favorite thing. And you guys notice the visual improvements too? Colors is slightly better. Yeah, first race you always want to get your nitrous, and they're also gonna give you off-road tires, which I'm not the biggest fan of. There's very few races where off-road tires are gonna give you an advantage. So whenever I play this game, I feel like I should play Burnout Paradise first. just to see where all the inspiration came from, you know? I'm not sure if I patched out the crash cams this time. We will see. The mod definitely adjusts the handling though. The cars feel super responsive. No more no input lag bullshit. Input lag is gone. No input lag is so good, man. Absolutely love it. Dude, the first time I played this, I was just disappointed that it wasn't most wanted. Like I was genuinely excited for it, you know? As the biggest most wanted fan out there. Like that's all I ever wanted, right? Like even back in 2012, everyone was talking about another most wanted. But that hasn't changed. Overrated and overhated. Yeah. I'm not sure the change in interface was really necessary. But you know what I always say about changes in interface? At least it's immediately obvious that you're playing mod, which I think is good. Just for recognition. That Audi looks suspicious.
It's always been your problem. Tell you.
Shall we take a look at the Yaris? Yeah. The Yaris GR. Let's buff up this car some more. Hey, check out Mad Monk. Amazing supplements. Link in the description below. At this point they have become a no sugar energy drink. I like it. Yeah, Champion, actually that doesn't have caffeine, but it's now a tablet you dissolve in water, and it now tastes like mango instead of passion fruit. And they also updated the recipe for Mad Monk itself, so Mad Monk is now at version 4. Even more active ingredients. A blind person would see this game is based on Burnout Paradise. I think it's always been fun to get a full boost bar for taking someone out. You know, in my opinion, they should have had an optional takedown camera. Just like in the Burnout games, you know, if you want to see it, you can. But if you don't, you can turn it off. But at the same time, the crashes are probably not spectacular enough to make it worth watching. You know, nowadays, now that I have accepted that this is not another most wanted game, I'm actually okay, right? Like, I don't hate this game anymore. I still hate 2015 and Undercover. But I lost my hatred for Most Wanted 2012. But at the time, at the release, it was like the biggest betrayal and the biggest disappointment at the same time. Everyone and their mom was expecting another Most Wanted. 2012, I was 23? I was 23. So you would think I made my research. No. Like the moment I heard Most Wanted, my brain was instantly into Most Wanted 2 mode. At some point I realized, okay, it's not a Most Wanted game, and I gave it a chance, and then I hated it even more because it wasn't Most Wanted. Actually, let's see if we can even crash out. Okay, so the crash cams still exist, but they look different. Maybe I should add the mods. That anti-crash mod. Does anyone remember the download link for the anti-crash mod? Americans that are overly sensitive to swearing. I know, it's ridiculous. Especially, like, the only one that could possibly care is some advertisers. I don't think any of the customers actually cares. All the new cars in here, do you see them? The way I feel about, you know, censoring is like they're protecting people that don't even exist. Like, in my opinion, that's not even true. You know, like this typical Karen that is annoyed by everything. In my opinion, those people don't really exist, and they're so small in number that it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't think they're statistically significant. Basically, what happens if there's swearing in the title, it cannot be embedded anymore. Track tires. See, those I want. Same thing for lightweight. Make the car fast again. Make this car great again. You know, I was actually surprised how positive the comments were about me shaving in that video. I like that you don't need to look in the right direction. all of a sudden it was important in Rivals. Oh, these cutscenes. Oh god, a Tesla truck. Trippy cutscenes in a Tesla truck. If I find it, I'll use it. Could you set the hardness of the car? Because if so, I couldn't find it. Then I don't know where to find that setting. Oh, look at this. It's been a really long time since I played this mod because honestly, I don't have much memory of playing this mod. It looks like a Java car, yeah. The handling is way better. It reacts faster, and I also think that the cars are more grippy. It's actually quite fun. Recommendation from me right now. Overhaul. I just noticed the number plate. I mean, if you don't see Burnout Paradise in this game, you are blind. Like, it's so obvious that the same Criterion team made both games. I just realized I don't even have the DLC unlocked. Although I do think there's a DLC unlocker. It does have that bridge, which looks like a copy and paste from Burnout Paradise, absolutely. Because in my opinion, this game is best at high speeds. So you don't want to have crashes. They interrupt the gameplay, and the problem is the crashes in this game look super boring. Like, watching the car crash out in this game has sadly never been exciting. So it's definitely something I would rather turn off before anything else. I actually thought it's called Jackpot, and I am fairly certain I've always called it Jackpot, and no one ever corrected me. Like, I genuinely do not remember these things being called Jackspots. Because Jackpot made sense for me too. You win the checkpoint, the jackpot, therefore you get a new car, right? That did make sense to me. Jackspots, yeah. I'm just saying, you know, not a lot of people knew it or cared about it, because I don't remember anyone ever correcting me. I mean, the game definitely has some Most Wanted-like game modes. Yeah, there's a lot more of these cutscenes, I hope you guys are ready. It even has the same easy drive system as Burnout for restarts. Okay, pressing the left analog stick turns off the engine. And then this happens very quickly. The only thing that I didn't understand is that they, once again, you know, tried to make it realistic. So you basically have Burnout Paradise here, but with a worse handling. At least the original one. The mod, it feels pretty great actually. We're definitely gonna have to increase the stability of the cars, because as I said, you know, I think it's more fun in this game to be a bulldozer like in Most Wanted. You don't have any crash cutscenes. But you don't get to see these that keep breaking the immersion and the flow of the game. Because this is just silly. But I can tell you exactly why I didn't like the crash cutscenes in this game. Because the crashes were not fun to watch. Like, if you realize the downgrade over Burnout Paradise, where you actually had fun crashes to watch, like this just feels so bad, so basic in comparison. It doesn't have the word crash. Are you sure it's in here? I think it was called Crash Resistance or something. WreckResistance, there it is. Ah, that's the setting we want to change. Yes, WreckResistance. Okay, that's actually really important, because in my opinion the game is way more fun when you have WreckResistance at 4. Crashing in this game is just not fun. It makes the game slower and less enjoyable, because if your car is super stable, you're not gonna crash, you're not gonna have to watch the boring crash cam. So in my opinion, that's a win. That's why I didn't find it earlier. I was looking for crash. And couldn't find it. Recreation. That is 100% the next failed game. There's a new intro too. Bet on Faye even. I think another thing that bothered me about this game was the open-endedness. Right, the structure was okay, beat the blacklist. But the blacklist itself, you know, felt so unspectacular. It was just a bunch of unnamed white cars, numbered from 10 to 1. Oh, this is nice. No crash. No crash cutscene. I'm kind of forced to death to see, but yeah. You still crash out if you're like going full speed into a wall. Yeah, you will still get it. It just makes the game way better, especially when you have faster cars. I think not having crashes all the time is gonna make a huge difference. If I get a good upgrade, I'll just do it again with the upgrade. By the way, guys, have you found any new Need for Speed mods that you want me to cover? I might want to do another event first that gives me some performance upgrades. RX-7 seems a bit unbalanced, seems too slow. By the way, here's an open question to all the viewers right now. Do you think the chat is uncomfortable to be in? Because it was a pretty highly voted comment on YouTube, and I want to at least address the problem. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's just a troll with a click bot to get extra likes. But I wanted to ask you guys, the people that are actually watching, how you feel about the chat experience and the stream experience as a whole. Well, the thing about talking about Need for Speed is kind of what we do, especially during the Need for Speed marathon. Yeah, I think most people do have a positive takeaway, but I feel like if I say things like I don't like 2015, and then a bunch of people jump on the bandwagon, that the 2015 fans all super butthurt. Yeah, no, I know other people are like, yeah, it's normal, so... As I said, I wanted to ask you guys directly too, because you can be honest with me. I'm not gonna ban you for your opinion, especially when I asked you for it. This definitely looked like something that would have crashed a car. Any graphic mods? This remaster, this mod pack has slight visual enhancements. But this RX-7 is sadly very slow. Like trying to dodge the cops in this one are not really feasible. So there's a bunch of new cars, but a bit too slow in my opinion. This RX-7, like it was already difficult in the earlier events. Now doing the events against the cops, this is hard, man. The off-road slowdown is really bad, yeah. That's why the game gives you the option to have off-road tires. The problem is, you can, right? Like you can change the tires while you're racing. It's kind of silly, right? You used to on off-road and then you switch back. You can do that, right? Like this permanent switching. But if the permanent switching was supposed to be a gameplay element, then in my opinion, it should have been more accessible. Did they buff the cops too? Yeah, I think this time it will work though. Just need to get away from them a little bit before I turn off my engine. Alright, track tires and lightweight are gonna help this car. That was a Wii U thing. That's actually kind of cool. The thing is, the Wii U is such a forgotten console. I have two. A regular one and a cracked one. An 8GB and a 32GB model. The thing is, even after I cracked the Wii U, I didn't even use it. But I just did it because I could, and then I didn't touch it again. Like, I didn't even care to play any of the Wii U games. That being said, are there Wii U emulators? Oh wow, that's something I've never thought about. Cemu. Okay, I never emulated anything on Cemu. Does the Cemu emulator connecting your Wii U gamepad to the PC as well, as a controller? It does? Oh, interesting. Any racing games on the Wii U that we should check out? Yeah, the Wii U was extremely forgettable. It feels like one of those consoles that might kill a company. The car's finally speeding up, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't really trust any game to be good until I've seen a review. I've completely dropped the notion of, oh, it's this franchise, it should be a good game. Like, in my opinion, that doesn't exist anymore for most franchises. There's definitely a few franchises where a new game comes out, so you are probably gonna be happy with a new installment. But for example, even the Pokemon games, people are complaining about them not being very good. So yeah, I don't really give any franchise a free pass. Oh wow, I actually got taken down. Are you serious? Even with Crash Resistance 4. God damn it. Right at the end too. Seems good. Yeah, it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Like, if you're someone that didn't like the, general experience of this game, I recommend you check out this mod pack. Hey guys, Kuru here. Check out Instant Gaming for cheap game keys. Click the link in the description below. You know what bothered me with the online mode of this game? I actually just wanted racing. And there were just so many game modes that had nothing to do with racing that I got bored. I got bored of the non-racing game modes. I know a lot of people really enjoyed those, but honestly, I just wanted to do races. And I've always been like that with a few exceptions. I remember in Mario Kart 64 with my siblings, I always wanted to play battle mode, just shooting each other. But in most other games, including something like Blur, I preferred the racing a lot more. That's why I could let my adrenaline junkie out. This game, oh, interesting. This game was also released on like 1 million devices. There's a Wii U version of this game. They didn't put it on the Switch though, right? I mean, it would make sense. This game is from 2012, Switch is 2017. I remember that because I remember getting the Switch when I started streaming, but sad story, I didn't really play my Switch very much because I was so into streaming that I didn't have time for anything else. But I was just so laser focused on streaming that I didn't even play games casually anymore. Yeah, but I don't really understand the purpose of, you know, cease and desist letters to emulator makers, because you can still get those emulators, right? And the moment one disappears, another one appears. Like, I don't see that emulation for the Switch is going away anytime soon. I mean, why would it? There's always going to be someone that follows in your footsteps. Yeah, everything is still there. You know, it might be slightly more inconvenient now to get your hands on a Switch emulator. That's it. Nothing has really changed. It's like politicians saying, "Oh, piracy bad. Don't do it." I'm not too worried about emulation disappearing for Nintendo. I mean, right now they also have to battle like the cartridge market again, right? Like somebody brought out a cartridge that lets you pirate games. The Mic Switch, right? Either plays your backups or it plays your piracy products. I wonder if I actually missed the checkpoint. Oh, I did. That's weird. Didn't even know this counts as off-road. I am not the biggest fan of the mechanic of changing tires all the time, because if you need to do this, right? If you need to do this to be competitive, then it should be automatic. You know, then the game should just switch the tires depending on the surface. Because if the player can do it anyways, just let the game do it for him. Like automatic tire switch depending on the surface, that would make sense to me. Track tires are very grippy. Is there a slight blur in the game? There is. But I gotta be honest, when it's this slight, it doesn't bother me. But you can turn it off if you don't like it. You will need different tires. Yeah, I don't like... No, I think the idea of having different tire packs that you can equip when necessary is a cool thing. Especially... the entire mechanic isn't super sensible. Let's say you pop your tires from a roadblock. You just put on the reinflatable tires and you're good to go. Again. So much better without the crash cam. So let me try something. Kegmaster, it depends on the game. In some games, motion blur just looks horrible. Like, go far enough back in Need for Speed. Like, Underground 2, Most Wanted. Motion blur looks terrible. Like, if you do it well, it's fine, in my opinion. Actually, let's test if the unlocking thing worked. It didn't. I swear. I hate the app with a passion. I'm not sure if it's much worse than Origin, but in most situations it is. There's a fair chance though that this unlocker doesn't work in combination with this mod. But if you know anything more than that, let me know. Is it just me or is that model wrong? The STO. Does the STO really look like this? Sometimes DLC doesn't appear when you first start the game. To fix in-game store menu. What? Go to in-game store and wait for it to say press button, go to Origin store. Oh. How do I get there? Store? Oh, there we go. Hey, it does work now. Thank you, man. Yeah, I didn't read the description. Thank you, man. Okay, now we can test out some more stuff. What a bit of reading can do. Yeah. I am definitely guilty of not always reading. That is why I'm usually pretty lenient when other people do the same. Sometimes you hope that a drag and drop fixes your problems. Okay, if the STO really does look like this, I don't like it very much. I think it's primarily the spoiler that I don't like. The roof scoop isn't necessarily the most beautiful thing in the world either. Also, I feel like it wouldn't be necessary. I'm fairly certain you can get some fresh air from other spots. That was a hard hit. Kinda like that certain speed differences at contact take them out instantly. That's satisfying. I just wish visually it would be more interesting to take down. Kinda like in the Burnout games. I think that would have helped this game. Does anyone know what the STO actually stands for? Super Trofeo Homologata. Super Trophy, and what does the last word mean? Homologation. Okay. Seems like a weird naming scheme. The next mod I want to see is an FPS unlocker for this game. 60 FPS is the bare minimum, but already first on the list. Because it remembers the speed points of your EA account. And that's the issue. But you know, frame generation, still not as good. And also a lot more interesting for the viewers if they can unlock the frame rate themselves, right? It's the kind of stuff people are more interested in. Yeah, exactly. You know, the money and the cards are tied to your account and payback. It's the same thing here. The speed points are tied to this game's account as well. Okay, and I'm curious about you guys. What was your first experience with this game? Especially interesting to hear the opinion of people that didn't play the original Most Wanted, but maybe had this as their first Most Wanted game. YouTuber! I'm gonna ban you, bro. I mentioned it earlier, like nowadays I can actually enjoy this game. Like I'm not salty anymore, it's not Most Wanted 2. At the time though I was furious. At the time I was very mad. Yeah, I mean if you're a fan of Paradise, I'm pretty sure you like this game. Nope. I hate that there's always like a little loading time here. Cops are still here. I actually might get busted. The intro captivated you, it looked really amazing, but then the game started and collected every corner. Yeah, that was my experience too, like especially after Burnout Paradise, like this felt such a weird hybrid of Need for Speed and Burnout, and I didn't like either. Like with mods it's a very different experience. Now the input lag is gone, the cars are more responsive, I can stop my cars from crashing out in every little nook and cranny. Like it's so much better than when it released. You know, I should do a rage marathon where I have to play the unmodded versions of the video games. Maybe the unmodded console versions on the original hardware for the true rage-inducing experience. A moldathon, yeah. What do you think? What do you think about that? Pro Street on PlayStation 3, for example. I remember I really hated the run on PlayStation as well. And all the 30 FPS logs on console. You're gonna kill me, man. Special thanks to Expert Langenhagen for sponsoring this part of the video. Expert sent me over this new HP Victus gaming PC. It comes equipped with an RTX 4060, a 6-core Ryzen 5 with a 4.4 GHz boost clock, and a 1TB SSD for my gaming and emulation needs. I'm already using it to play Most Wanted in 4K and 120 FPS on my big TV, and I love it. Classic PC games, emulating consoles, everything just works. And right now there's a big discount and you can get it for 799 euros at Expert Langenhagen. You can get yours today in the link in the description below. But only until Friday, so be quick. Now back to the video. Okay, here's a random question from Nintendo fans. Did you play... Oh my god. Drive away. Did you play the new Super Mario Party? There's a new Mario Party? Yeah, it's called Jamboree. It has a weird name, like a word I've never heard before, whatever a Jamboree is. Effectively, it's a new Super Mario Party. Nothing. Is it just called Mario Party or called Super Mario Party? I'm not even sure, man. You heard the word before? I have not. That was a Jamboree. If anything, it sounds like a music instrument. A Jamboree is another word for a large gathering. Alright. Hey, I found an Evo. The last time I played this, I definitely did not discover all the cars, so we can make up for it today. Huh, how long would 100% take? Oh, actually, I wouldn't mind playing this for 2 days. It's actually quite fun. Oh, anyone in the chat ever did a 100% run of this? You know, because it disappointed me at the time, I did play through it, but I never bought the DLC back then. And I definitely did 100% of the base game either. You did? Crazy. Now I couldn't get myself to do it. Honestly, I just went back to playing other games. Can you see this? Oh yeah, there. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Kuru owns a Switch. You didn't know? What is this? What was that car that just drove by? Wasn't that his anime called Speed Racer? Is that his car? The things I've never seen it. I've just seen a handful of meme videos of Speed Racer. It's the standard Switch from 2017. I do have an OLED Switch, but it's kind of like a collector's item. I got the Zelda version, still originally packaged. I have no idea if those things actually gained in value, but I think they don't produce them anymore, so eventually they will. Maybe a bit of a waste, I guess. But I liked the console design, so I was like, either I'm gonna use it or I'm gonna collect it. I gotta say, I do want to test out the MIC Switch. You know, that flash card basically. Because honestly, even if I have all of those games, it's so convenient to have it all on one cartridge, just for transport. My Switch is modded, yeah. Lisa's Switch is not. Because usually what Lisa and I do is we get... Whenever a new Pokemon comes out, we just buy both editions and then play with each other. Lisa the beard guy, you know her. There's not gonna be a Pokemon game this year, right? I also heard they're gonna make another Legends game, which I really liked. The Legends Arceus was super fun. It was the first Pokemon in a very long time that played differently and I loved it. I like that they're taking the time, very much so. The thing is, they did get some negative press for the last one, at least Nintendo. You know what Nintendo's really good at? When they have a bad outcome, they try better next time. I've seen that very many times. When Nintendo fucks up, they try again better the next time around. And you cannot say that about a lot of companies. Good at suing. Yeah, I mean, that's just corporate bullshit, but when it comes to making games, they're actually pretty good in my opinion. Yeah, I haven't played Legends Arceus on emulator, but I did 100% it on the console. I really liked it. This is funny, I'm on a pedestal. They don't see me. Some quality of life mods. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the biggest one. You know, I'm okay with low resolution. I'm not so okay with low FPS, but quality of life mods that actually make a game better, I love that shit. Like, that's actually so much fun. I do wonder if you can stream Nintendo game mods on Twitch or if they're gonna take you down. So there is drifting events in the DLC and smash and grabs, which are kind of boring events. I'm gonna show you some, but not yet. So news to Toyota Yaris GR. I do have the DLC finally. It was as simple as replacing a file. That's kind of nice. Oh boy, this thing is incredible. I love how it actually stabilizes the rear wing with this shark fin. That thing looks so crazy. Terminal velocity. You ready? Oh, that thing's gonna be fast. This might be the first time I'm using this car. You know, this car looks like your typical concept car from 10 years ago. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen some Vision GT cars that looked like this. The design is good, but made to be sold to kids in a video game. I don't know, man. I don't think Bugatti makes money from, you know, selling video games with the car in it. It is like a Batman car for sure. The thing is, cars like this, it doesn't really matter what they look like because they will sell regardless. There's enough billionaires in these worlds that collect cars or drive them, so there's always gonna be a buyer for these kinds of cars. So it doesn't really matter what they look like. So they're probably gonna design them either to sell them by unique looks, or it actually has a technical advantage on the racetrack, like the Mazda Ferrari. Yeah, just as crazy, right? The Ferrari looked really cool. Absolutely. Oh, what is this? Oh, it was an F50, I think. No, what is this? Was that the NASCAR? Dude, I wanna read what it is. Castra, Giotto? I have no idea what that is. Wait, there's actually a photo mode. What was the button for the photo mode? No, don't smack him down. I know I pressed the button earlier for photo mode. I feel like I already pressed all the buttons. Ah, found it. Oh, was it? I swear I had a button earlier for photo mode. Caspita Giotto. Okay, never heard about that car. Hey, what a sick machine, man. I really like how crazy it looks. I don't think we need off-road tires. We definitely need the NOS though. What is this? Yeah, isn't it cool when you can replay Need for Speeds that were thought to be unplayable and now all of a sudden they're enjoyable? Like, I gotta say, I love the age of modding. Especially when you have dedicated fans that actually try to improve some of these really quirky Need for Speed games. Black red has always been a weakness of mine. I like that color scheme. Oh, now it's the one that. If you don't start the event, you don't get the teleport. Although I've driven by this one earlier. What the fuck is going on? Did I can't start the event? Yeah, this car seems broken though. Like, sometimes it doesn't power the wheels. I think that's the reason why the event didn't start. If I can't start the next event, I'm not sure if I ever should restart the game. Car seems broken. Let's see if there's a check spot nearby.
346 minutes later.
You know, for some reason I feel like it's a controller issue. Let me try another one quickly. I'm not sure. It might be a Windows controller issue. Not even my particular controller. Yeah, I think the Bugatti was part of the DLC though. If it's not the DLC though, it means I can bring back the DLC unlocker back. I had that like a day, and I had that 2 days ago, where I actually had to restart my PC because my controller was messing up. But it's extraordinarily strange that all the cars became all front-wheel drive. It's like the handbrake is perma-pressed. It was a bit slow to evade the cops here. And this is also straight up taken from Hot Pursuit 2010. Like, you can clearly tell the Criterion influence here. Car sound is back. Yeah, let me escape and then we see what happens next, if we can start another event or not. Isn't it crazy how it's just like this gameplay.bundle thing that unlocks the DLC? Oh, dude, was it a controller? Are you serious? How is the controller being weird? That makes no sense. Okay, let me reactivate the DLC. Alright, let's try the Bugatti again. Gotta say that Marussia B2 reminds me a little bit of the Tesla truck because it has these simple shapes. 15 minutes of troubleshooting, let's go. Firmware update on the controller, that's actually a decent idea. So I was told to go into the store and then go back out again. Don't crash on me, come on. Seriously? Now that I'm not in offline mode, it crashes in the store? Okay. It just loads forever. It loads a really long time. Look at this super low resolution background image. That's why I hate this app. There's so many tiny little things you gotta do. And this pop-up doesn't even pop up. It just opens in the background so you can't even see it. It's such a piece of shit software, it's insane. Okay, now in offline mode, let's boot again. Alrighty. Actually, the culprit might have been the fancy controller, so now back to a basic bitch Xbox controller. Not exactly sure what happened, but I think the inputs got somehow wrongly interpreted by the game. Basic controller seems to work. This car might be a little bit too fast for the game though. Kinda hard to get around corners. Yeah, definitely too fast for a lot of the stuff. So if everything is repaired, this should work now. Hey. Oh, well, there's corner sticking out. A little bit more grip on this car would be good. Jumping straight over. I'm surprised that the mod does not include the DLC unlocker by itself, considering some of the DLC cars are modded. I'm just saying the mod pack itself doesn't include it, which is a mistake. It should be in there. There are new types. So one of them is drifting and the other one is smash and grab, I think it's called. You're basically smashing gates for points. You're smashing stuff for points and you want to get a certain amount of points. I'll show it to you. Well, there's a lot of things about this mod that make it a proper overhaul. You have slight graphic improvements, you do have a bunch of new cars to play with. You can stop your car from crashing out on tiny things all the time, which makes the gameplay a lot more fluid and fun in my opinion. You can't really turn off the crash cam, but you can massively reduce the amount of crash cams that are happening. Like if you really want to, and you go fast enough into another car or a wall, then you're still gonna get your crash cutscene, but most of the time you won't. You know, it feels a bit like Most Wanted. You're gonna have a crash, but you're not gonna have the crash cutscene to interrupt your gameplay. Look, it's not necessarily the crash cam itself, but these 5 seconds where you can't do anything. So it's more about avoiding to make the car crash in the first place. Oh wait, that is the DLC event. That gives me drift tires and then I can do the drift event afterwards. You really want to have drift tires if you want to do the drift events. Otherwise the cars don't really do what they should. Yeah, when people are complaining about the crash cams, it's literally that 5 seconds of not being able to do anything. So just making sure that you don't trigger this in the first place, that's kind of what you want to do. Let's go. See? You can still get your crash cutscene. And honestly, in this spot it was probably a good idea, otherwise you would just be stuck in place. But yeah, someone mentioned earlier, like a lot of the events are sub 2 minutes and could have been more fun if they are longer, and I agree with that. One of my issues that I had with Need for Speed No Limits were the super short events. It's the only reason why you might want to do the events in order, because they give you the performance upgrades in a sensible order. Just the location of the events is not that sensible. The problem is, it's a mix of Burnout and Need for Speed, and it really doesn't feel like they took the best elements of each franchise. It's primarily a Burnout Paradise, but it's not as good as Burnout Paradise. Considering the game is Break to Drift 2, they could have kept the physics a lot more unrealistic, like it is in Burnout Paradise. It's not like we're, you know, having a proper grip model here. So I don't really understand why they changed up the handling that much. We were already in the arcade genre for racing games, so why try to hide it? Well, the speedrun for this game is very specific in which events it picks. You don't want to end up doing events you don't want to do. You always use the power shot to save yourself from crashing. It's a smart idea. But trust me, you're gonna have more fun if you can avoid the crashes in the first place. Don't care too much about the color, I do care about the nose recharge on every gas station. Damn. Some crashes will still happen if you're fast enough. But I guess it's better having some than zero. I think that makes it a bit more interesting. If you were to know that you're always safe, then I think it might take away from the excitement, and actually you would probably stop trying to avoid things if you know that you're always safe. How far can we jump? Yes. Over both billboards. Oh my god. I nearly jumped next to the aerial atom. That would have unlocked him if I just fly by like that. One more thing I would actually enjoy is a teleport mechanic to bosses, but yeah, even that you have to drive there. You have to discover it first. You know, maybe a few hotspots on the map for teleports would have been nice. Ah, what is that? The new Bugatti based on the EB110? What was it called? And they added a lot of Bugattis. Yeah, I'm just saying I prefer games where they let you choose to teleport. You know, I feel optionality is usually the best way to go for video games. I know sometimes the developers just want you to experience the game a certain way, but in my opinion that isn't always fun. For example, Underground 2 in my opinion becomes way more fun when you can teleport. That was just on the R. Oops! It was so fast I actually jumped there. Trust me, the game is even more fun if you get the mod pack. You can buff it up. Chiron based is the Cento 10. Ah, okay, it's Chiron based, looking like the EB110. Gotta be honest, I kinda lost track of all of the Bugattis they've been building. Good luck. Whoa, that's gonna be a problem. Shouts to no crash cam. Whoa, physics, okay. So nice when you're not crashing out on a wall ride. I'm okay if I frontal my car like this to get a crash cutscene. I think that's fair. Or a traffic car. But you know, for the smaller hits, I don't wanna have an interruption. You know, it just happens too often. I don't know if you guys play any multiplayer games where, you know, opponents can mess with you in a way where it like stops your gameplay for a second before you can keep going, and it gets really annoying over time. That's kinda it. What I usually have experienced with this game, that like I permanently get interrupted by these 5-second crash cutscenes, and I just want to play the game, and things that I want to interrupt my gameplay, but only when I want, and not when the game feels like it. It is kind of burnout, exactly. And apparently it's possible to make the car even more stable, to crash out even less. So if I want to do easy drifter, I gotta put on drift tires. So this is one of the DLC events that you get with the unlocker. Hey, with tire color. I assume the tire color adjusts for whatever the car is colored. So if my car is green, you get green tires mode. Yes, all the pro parts, that's the time saver DLC. I really wanted to give it a try because I never did before. I gotta say, if you replay the game and you don't necessarily want to unlock everything, but maybe just, you know, play around in a sandbox, this is a pretty cool unlock. But you can also just unlock the DLC without the progression. Jump nitrous. Oh yeah, that's an interesting unlock. Jump nitrous is a nitrous that speeds you up when you're in the air. It's also great if you want to make new jump records. Yeah, I'm not sure, if I'm honest. Maybe someone can check my YouTube channel if I ever played the Rockport mod for 2012. I kinda forgot. So this is the drift mode, ladies and gentlemen. Even as a multiplayer on top. It's a lot less visual. Like if I wanna look at it directly, usually I'm gonna make a mistake. Ah, still easy gold. But Luca, I talked about it earlier. If you guys have any cool mods that you want me to play, go send them. Go send them to me. I'm happy to try. Honestly, I don't think I care too much about the order. True. We also have 5 DLC bosses. So now the blacklist is 15 cars, as it should be. Honestly, now that I have such a fast car, I kind of want to have the never crash mod. Rather than the less crash, now I want to have never crash. Oh, the Hennessy Venom F5. That thing's crazy. That actually might be a car that I used last time. But also thinking back, I feel like it crashed more, this mod, but maybe it was the other mod. Because this so far is super stable. I haven't had a game crash yet. Also, kind of pointless. They recover so quickly. Sometimes I ask myself, why is it even relevant? Oops. You get takedowns when they can immediately catch up. And so easily, you know? This reminds me a lot of the canyon here. Finally some light when the sparks are flying. So you need to put on the reinflates and then you can change back to, let's say, drag tires or something. I'm gonna say the Hennessy Venom F5 looks pretty good. Imagine that would have triggered another crash cutscene. Like, it would be so annoying. Like, this game plays way better with the rule set of Most Wanted 05. But trust me, with all of these mods, it's actually worth playing. I remember playing a mod that was extremely unstable, but it was not this one. Let's hope we can catch him. That's why I dislike having a cop chase after a boss fight, because that makes it harder to actually grab his car. Oh, maybe they're more stable as well and I have to hit them with really high difference in speeds. Although I don't think that's the case. Yeah, in Burnout Paradise, grind kill was possible. Don't think that works in this game. Uh-oh. No, I didn't wanna. Yeah, you were -2 when it came out. Alright. Get Project 64 version 4.0 or 4.1. You know. Just get V4, right? And then just get Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing, Rush 1 and 2 and 2049. Cruisin' USA is super old school. I think Razor is driving this car, or is it the Most Wanted character? Oh, ho, baby. Didn't want to do that to you, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I was talking about racing games for now. Dude, I played more racing games on the Nintendo 64 than I did on the PlayStation 4 and 5. I think that's the crazy thing about, you know, like missing console games and exclusives and dead franchises. Like, I played more racing games on the Nintendo 64 than the PlayStation 4 and 5 combined. My favorite childhood racing game. What's the age border? How long do I count as a child? Okay, until 10 years old. When Need for Speed Porsche came out, I was already 11. Actually, yeah, I was 11. Need for Speed High Stakes then. If 10-year-old is the cutoff, where's the last one? 919 Hybrid. Oh my god. You know another amazing song is the credits from Super Mario 64. We'll take the M3. Nah, I did that last time. I wanna try some new cars. No, I never tried to speedrun Mario 64. I watched a lot though. I remember watching Cheese. I remember watching Cyclemic, Punkation. I have this dude in mind that is still speedrunning it. Simply? Anyone else you guys can remember? Speedrunning Mario 64. By the way, I think you're weird if you call him Mario. It's like you try to put on a really thick accent just to say Mario. It's Mario! Ooh, F-Zero-X. Also Nintendo 64. You're right, I forgot about this one. Another game for your emulator. Abney? Doesn't Abney speedrun Mario Kart 64? Nice respawn.
Music. I don't know. Him just making shit up.
Look where I am. Oh. Actually, that crash is great because I'm in the wrong spot. The one reason why you might want to keep the crash cutscenes, at least the limited ones, because the game doesn't have a reset button. I don't understand if it's just we're kids, but the games hit different nowadays. No, I have a very strong opinion about this, that old games were genuinely better. Some of them, obviously. But in my opinion, the nostalgia that we have for some games is definitely warranted. Those were genuinely amazing games. Because no one will ever say that about TDO Solar Crown, right? No one will ever say TDO Solar Crown was the best game in the franchise. I love that. I will listen and play this game for the next 50 years. It's just not gonna happen. I will definitely say that I have a sweet spot for some of the old games that I played in the past, but I can be very precise in my analysis and tell you, okay, there's a reason why I like this game, but I also understand it's not very good nowadays. For example, absolutely loved first generation Pokemon games, but they don't hold a candle to a lot of the games that came afterwards. They can definitely have nostalgia for some games, but, you know, in my opinion, there's just nothing that compares to Most Wanted 2005. Not within Need for Speed and not outside of Need for Speed. Like in order to convince me, you just have to make a better game first. If you can make a better game than Most Wanted 05, then we can talk. In my opinion, this has nothing to do with, you know, pink glasses, nostalgia influencing my opinion, because that's just, are you kidding me, man? It's just not the case. Like, those are just genuinely better games. And games that have done things that other games are still trying to emulate. And it's probably not easy either, otherwise you would have had like a random indie developer bring out another Most Wanted. Because in my opinion, theoretically, you could bring out another Most Wanted game without the story, without the need for speed or real car branding, but just the gameplay. The gameplay of Most Wanted Cops is something you could create. It's annoying, every time I want to do the event, the cops are here. Stop, stop. No, don't spawn me up there. No! There was so much effort put into the cops of Most Wanted, it could be its own game. Absolutely. I'm just saying, you know, there's a reason nobody could recreate this yet. Neither within or outside of Need for Speed. I'm generally a big fan of remakes. Like, I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, I played Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I didn't play the original games of either of those. And even without the nostalgia influence of the original game, I really enjoyed the new entries. Like that, in my opinion, is also amazing. Like, I would love to see a take on that too. Most Wanted remade, not remastered. Yeah, same thing for the Silent Hill 2 remake. Like, people love this stuff. And honestly, it's really not necessary to come up with a new story. In my opinion, you could totally get away with taking PlayStation 2 era games or PlayStation 1 era games and remake them. Like, some of those games are so good they deserve to be created again. Like, this game in my opinion needs a much better physics model. Genuinely boring crashes. Which is why turning off the crash cam is so good. Spaceballs. Dude, I wonder how old all of the actors are from the original Spaceballs. Didn't we find the Jesko? Or is there a separate category? Most Wanted cars, that is. GTR, Venom. I don't see Koenigsegg, that's for sure. Oh, I didn't beat him yet. Okay, that makes sense. Is the Hennessy Venom F5 based on a McLaren? Like, what chassis? Or is that a custom chassis that they made themselves? Its own design? Okay. You know, front? Ferrari, 100%. That's Ferrari in the front. On the back, it's a McLaren. The side, I guess, is debatable. But that's Ferrari, that's McLaren for sure. They definitely were feeling themselves when they were making those intro cutscenes. They probably just told their marketing department, go nuts! Oh god. Customized car, tires, off-road, there we go. Ah wait, I have to do this with the reinflatables. You can't just swap to any tires. Get him! How was waiting 80%? Not bad. I did get a headache at the end of the day. I was sitting too close to the band and yeah, it was very loud. Just not enough, man. Those games so far, man, it's such an improvement over the original. I really like it. Just realized that you need to also have an unlocker for the DLC, because I don't expect most people to have bought the DLC for this, because they always threw the game in your face, but then they asked full price for all the DLC. Online passes, I remember. You know, when I bought Need for Speed Carbon, somebody has already used the code for online, so I had the game, but I could never go online. Somebody stole my game code. That was like the first attempt to stop people from reselling their games. Because if you bought a used copy of someone's game, the online code was already used and you couldn't play online anymore. That was so bullshit. That was so awful. I'm pretty sure that was forbidden afterwards, so you would still have it. See, it's actually kind of fun when you know that, you know, not everything is gonna immediately crash out of your car. It just makes the game better, you know? Now, of course, I remember when you had to use the key inside the box to install a game. Especially, those were universal keys. Like, if I give you my key from Most Wanted 05, you can install the game with it. In fact, actually, let's do it. You guys need to reinstall. You guys need to reinstall Most Wanted. Are you ready for the key? There. I even have like the original receipt of the game. It's the German version. Berühmt und berüchtigt. Use that to activate Windows. Who knows what else it's gonna be used for. The game resets me when I need to. This is what I hate about old games that don't have a reset button. Like, that's actually cancer. A few Need for Speeds have that issue where it's quite possible to miss the checkpoint, but then you have no way to reset unless you crash out. I remember payback was a massive problem. You miss the checkpoint and then you have to crash out. At least in Heat and in Unbound, when you miss the checkpoint, you do get resetted eventually. It doesn't happen in Heat, and it doesn't happen in Payback. I gotta say, with the Speed Saver DLC, I can try out more cars because I just immediately get the upgrades. Move on to the next car, GG. Especially I wonder how long it took them to make these cutscenes. They do look quite time intensive if you ask me. You know what's funny? The hotel that we were in for the wedding actually had the Red Bull ring as a light constellation. So the lights on the ceiling were in the shape of the Nürburgring. And it's actually, supposedly that hotel belongs to Mateschitz as well, you know, the guy that made Red Bull. That's physics. It's actually way better than getting a crash cutscene on Roadblock. I prefer that quite a bit. Can mod pack solve the input lag problem? It does. No input lag. It is the Le Mans car. Take down. That was a very expensive car. Hey, look at this. The airport is open. And I swear, I've played this mod before, but at the same time, I feel like I haven't discovered everything that the mod had to offer at the time. Ah, bitch. So many ramps I can't use. This was a fun place to hang out in, for sure. Only one problem, I didn't buy the DLC. Didn't buy the DLC, so I never had access to the airport. Huh. I think I could have taken the jump. Okay, if I get this car, I'm using it. I wonder if that car is actually faster than what I have. looks a bit wrong. Dude, does this car really have the exhaust up there? I have no idea about the anatomy of the 919. But does it have exhausts up there? I'm always so impressed how like V4 and V6s can make so much power. Like I was really surprised that the new Ferrari is a V6. Let's say it like this, if they make a new Need for Speed next year, I would be really surprised. Who knows, maybe Unbound gets so much traction with the updates that we get another year of volumes. But for now, Volume 9 is planned for this year. And then we're gonna see what's up next. Yeah, I think most Need for Speed fans would have loved the support for Heat that Unbound is getting, but you know, it took until Unbound for, you know, management to allow Criterion what they want to do. Got the race on lap 2. Lap 2, Charles in first, Max in second. Did Norris lose his pole again? Holy shit, how does he do that? How is Norris so good in qualifying and then always loses his lead? Nah, he by definition, he cannot suck. Otherwise, he wouldn't get pole position all the time. Bro. But I'm happy for my boy Charles to be in first. Yeah, he's definitely better by himself than in a field of cars. That is very evident. Some of these cars are definitely better hidden than others. But yeah, you unlock the car, you get all 3 check spots. Dude, I felt so weird when Criterion started talking about check spots and I was like, I thought they were called jackpots. Okay, give me a plus in the chat if you also thought it's just called jackpot and not jack spot, wherever the cars are hidden in this game. Like if we're talking about Mandela effect, it's like it was always jackpot and they just added the S recently. I guess I'm pretty alone with that opinion. I've played the game in English. I think my PC was already in English when I played this game. Your jerk spot in front of your PC and wherever your phone is. Haha, got him. Yeah, Whittler, especially for arcade games like this, I'm always on a controller. Aero body, usually better. It says it increases the control. Do you really get more handling? Do you get more handling from impact protection body? This might be a car that can handle. Actually, let's do short gears first, because if I don't reach the top speed, there's no point in increasing the top speed. You get less affected from others when they ram you, that's why they increases control. Okay, because I was thinking that it doesn't really make a lot of sense that it would get more handling. Oops. Where am I? Life is hectic but doing well. I gotta say I like when I'm busy, because when I'm busy I know I have something to do. Oh god, this one. Transformer. There's a gas station here? What? Dude, I never used this one. This is actually the first time I used this airport gas station. That's funny. Yeah, the best thing they did in Unbound was the fast crash cutscenes. that made the problem less annoying. You know what the game is missing? Tire screech. Holy shit, man. How high was that jump? Another one. The Burnout 2 airport race. Oh yeah, you're right. That was fun. I keep forgetting this. You can just jump out of bounds here. Oh shit, that was close. We nearly made it. Cars are so fast. It creates some weird situations. OG Veyron, dude. Veyron is annoying. I would much rather have the more modern Bugattis. They look better. And they have better performance. So win-win in my book. OG Veyron's like, we just wanted to make the fastest car on the market, that's it. That was the goal, that's what we did. We didn't care too much about the looks. Take him out before he becomes a problem. Dude, I love the braking lights. Very, very color happy. God damn it. This corner is such a bitch. The way they designed this corner is disgusting. Every time, dude. I see everyone and their mom making the exact same crash in this corner. Dude, even with the acceleration gearbox, I have a hard time hitting top speed. That's the thing with long gears. Like, there aren't many spots you're actually gonna reach your top speed. Oh, that was a Bugatti. Shit. I love how the sparks are also flying because that stuff is actually rendered.
Well done.
When it comes to progression, I like to start with slow cars, but get new cars all the time. It can be fun to use one car for everything, but I don't think that's up to date anymore. That's not something I want in a modern game. No, speedrun is fine because you just pick whatever is the best. But I would say for a modern racing game progression, you do want to change up cars as you're playing the game. Oh, that is a gap. Oh boy. I thought that one would actually be a solid wall. That was worth restarting for. No! Oh no, did I break? Oh no, I might have bricked the save file now. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. I don't think I can fix this. I really don't think I can fix this because if it always crashes when I pick this car and this car is picked by default, I would say I'm fucked. Alright, sounds good. Guys, let's call this stream. You've been fantastic. Thank you for all the follows. Welcome to the stream. But come back tomorrow, alright? So sleep tight. Do come back tomorrow for more. And good night, hotshots. Bye bye.